Are you trying to learn a language for free at home? If so, this is the perfect video for you. My name is Scala and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to provide you with my proven method to learn a language for free. This has worked for me. I'm a polyglot. I speak English, Spanish, and French, and I understand a little bit of Italian, so this actually works. The second thing is I'm going to help you have a structure while learning this language. That way you are able to optimize your time and resources. The third thing, I'm going to show you guys and provide you with the free resources that you will need to learn this language at home. And lastly, I'm going to provide you with some tips and tricks to really be able to learn this language easier and more effectively. First thing you need to understand is that the main difference between learning a language at home and for free versus learning it at an academy with a teacher is that no one is going to be telling you what you're going to be learning and when. Right now, you are your own student and you are your own teacher. So you need to have a calendar, a schedule, a structure to really know what you're going to be learning. The first thing you need to understand is to know what you want to achieve, by when, and why. This is really important. So what is your goal? What do you want to be able to do? Are you learning a language to be able to take AP courses? Great, that is your goal. Do you want to really be able to understand your favorite song, a 3-minute song, but in a foreign language? Perfect, now you've decided your goal. And next you're going to decide why do you want to be able to do that? Why do you want it? That will give you the motivation, because if you don't have a reason for doing it, you will not be motivated to do it and you won't achieve it. The next thing is that you need to have a deadline. By when do you want to have that thing done? By when would you like to have achieved that? And you might already have a deadline pre-made, pre-chosen. That could either be because you're taking AP classes in that language, you need to be able to understand it. You might be moving abroad. You might be going on a trip. Great, you have already deadlines that you have not decided. Boom, you already have a deadline, you can skip the step. But if you don't have a deadline, if you're just learning for fun to learn the language, to understand a song, create your own deadline. It could be in 6 months, it can be in 12 months, whatever, have a deadline. And then once you've decided your final deadline to understand what your main goal is, well then you're gonna make little tiny deadlines and little tiny goals. That way you will always know what your next step is, and that way you will always stay motivated. Because if you just look and say, wow, my main goal is so far away, I'm so behind, then you will not be motivated. But you just think one step at a time, you will be able to learn this language. I guarantee it. The next step is to find and look for the resources, the free resources that you will use to learn a language for free. Thanks to the internet, there's thousands of different resources to use, and it can feel overwhelming. I understand. Which is why I'm going to be telling you exactly what resources to use and for what, because each resource has an ideal use. So really be able to optimize each resource by using it exactly for what it was meant to use. And if you have any specific questions regarding your language, your country, or anything, feel free to comment them down below or ask me through my DMs and Instagram, and I will make sure to respond. The first resource I recommend are apps. Apps are an amazing resource to build your vocabulary, but please do not expect to learn a language only by using apps. That is not the way to do it. The second resource I recommend are YouTube videos. YouTube videos are an amazing way to learn a language since they're literally like a teacher on a device. But understand that there's thousands of different videos and thousands of different channels trying to teach the exact same thing, which is why I recommend following one channel and watching all of their videos, all of their lessons, because if you jump around, you will feel overwhelmed. The third resource I recommend are books. You can find a lot of language books online as PDFs for free. You might not enjoy the reading and grammar part of the language, but it is really important for learning the basics of any language. These next resources, I'm putting them all together into one because they will all help you achieve one thing, which is build your vocabulary. These resources are podcasts, movies and films, and websites. Podcasts are great to build your vocabulary about specific things that you enjoy. And you could be listening to them when you're on the go, when you're doing chores, when you're exercising, so they're very ideal. The next resources are movies and films. These you might have to use once you're a little bit more advanced and you already have the basic vocabulary to understand the overall story or kind of the story of the movie or film. But it is really important because you will be able to build your vocabulary and it's really enjoyable. Websites are also a really helpful resource, and especially if you're trying to pass a specific test for that language. For example, if you're trying to pass the ESOL for English, DELIF for Spanish, DELF for French, you can search up online and you will be able to find free practice tests, free resources, free study guides, and they will be really helpful since they are specific for that test. These last 3 resources are really helpful because you will also be able to learn vocabulary on the specific things that you enjoy. And that way, whenever you think of the things that you enjoy, you will think of how to say it in the other language or in the language that you're learning. Now I'm going to be telling you tips to make this learning experience a lot more enjoyable. So my first tip is to have a schedule. If you tell yourself you're going to practice this language twice a week but not telling yourself when and where, you won't get it done. So instead, tell yourself you're going to do it Mondays and Wednesdays after school for an hour, then you will get it done because it is part of your to-do list for that day. So tip number 2 is to not have any distractions with you while you're learning the language. For me, that was putting my phone in another room, but for you, it could be anything else. So make sure that the time you have set aside to learn the language, you are only learning the language and you're not doing anything else. Because if not, you will not get done what you want to get done by your deadline. Tip number 3 is to stay motivated. Understand that it happens to everyone. Everyone has days that they don't feel motivated, that they feel like they haven't learned anything, that they need to reread something a whole bunch of times, and understand that it's completely normal. Learning a language is not something easy. You will be so happy that you did not quit. My last tip number 4, is to use different resources that might not be meant for you to use, but that could still be helpful for you. For example, if you're learning French, search up DELF resources, DELF practice exams to help you build your vocabulary, comprehension, grammar, all those different resources. People trying to pass those specific tests could still be helpful for you. So be open to any resource that could help you to learn the language. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you guys found it useful. I really hope you guys don't quit and you learn the language that you want to learn and that you enjoy this process. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.